Welcome back to another Financial Friday. I'm Liv, and today we're going to talk about the 16 tips and tricks on how you can save money on a daily basis. Number one is electricity. The average person uses 2050 watts every single year. That's 171 watts every single month. And personally, I only use 64, which costs me about 16 pounds. How? Well, I understood the 3 different types of electricity every single person has. Number one, there's your rush hour, which is typically speaking between 8 a.m. and midday, plus 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. That's a time when most people are at home and most people use electricity, which means 1 kilowatt costs you 44 cents. Number two is between midday and 5 p.m., where the kilowatt costs 33 pence, and the cheapest electricity you can use is during the night. Between midnight and around 5 a.m., that's when 1 kilowatt only costs you 20p. That's less than 50% from the rush hour. So you should use it. It's the cheapest electricity out there. How? Welcome to number two. If you've got a washing machine and a dishwasher, this is the perfect time to time it so it starts around like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. and does its job. But don't just start it normally. Use the eco mode, which means it uses way less electricity and way less water on both of the machines because everything takes longer. It takes longer for the water to heat up, and they use the water properly. That is why like the eco wash always takes 3.5, 4 hours. It sounds like a lot, but believe me, it saves you a lot of money in the long term. And your clothes and your dishes get as clean as it could be. Trust me on this. Number three goes out to everyone who puts pans and pots into the washing machine. Yeah, that would be weird. Into the dishwasher. Don't do it. Once you finish cooking, place the food on your plates and rinse the pots and the pans straight away. Don't let it get crusty, dusty, and then you have to scrub and use a lot of hot water to actually get rid of all the food stains. Do it straight away. You're using less water, you're using less electricity, and it's going to be cheaper. And also your work is done so you can relax, eat your food, and just watch TV. Number five is this thing behind me. It's a fridge-freezer combination. There are 2 different things I want to talk to you about. Actually, it's 3. Number one, if you have the space and the money for it, get a combination, a fridge and a freezer, because that means it only has one engine and this thing powers the entire fridge-freezer combination, and it doesn't have to have 2 engines and it doesn't need to use that much electricity. Number two, you don't have to lower the temperature to like 0 degrees or whatever in your fridge. 6 to 7 is perfectly fine, and your entire food and beverages are all going to be chilled. And number three, always make sure to get rid of all the ice in your freezer, because it takes up to 50% more electricity to get this thing freezing cold if it has all the ice there. So get rid of it every single month, just defrost it, and you'll save electricity. And from the fridge and the freezer, we move on to the washing machine. Don't wash your clothes on 50, 60 or 40 degrees if it doesn't have to. Use like cold 20 or 30. It's just a bit of a temperature change, but it's a lot of money. It's up to 40% less energy if you run it at a 30 cycle versus a 40 cycle. And to be honest, most liquids tell you anyway that it works perfectly fine on cold washes. So don't overthink it. Use a colder temperature and your electricity bill will go down, believe me. From the kitchen to the bathroom. When I'm having a shower in the morning, I let the water run because it's cold, obviously. But I have a bucket and that collects all the water which is running through the system till it's warm enough for me to actually have my shower. I use that water and collect it to flush the toilet. Then I put the bucket back in, wash myself, hair, body, everything, and let the bucket collect the water again. That water now is warm and it's soapy. So if I'm going to start a washing machine, I dump all of my clothes into the bucket, let it soak, and then after a couple of minutes, half an hour, I take that stuff, put it in the washing machine and wash it on cold or 20 degrees. It's a win-win situation and a real game changer. Did you know that you could have a specific tap in the sink or change the pressure of the water in the sink in your bathroom? That's what I've done, and every single time I open the tap, it's not going to like flush out of there. It's just a little bit, because whatever flushes through and I don't use, it's a waste of money and it's a waste of water. So maybe look into changing the pressure in your sink and changing the tap to save money in the long run. Number 8 of ways of how you can actually save money is the obvious for me, because I live in London for the last 10 years and we have those amazing plugs where you can like switch it on and off and you don't have all electricity stuff standing on standby all the time and just wasting money. But if you don't have that, then use switches where you can like tap it on and tap it off and cut the electricity cycle so you're not spending money on standby products. Now we move on into the food section. So before you even go to the grocery store, there are a couple of things you have to prep for. Number one, make a meal plan for the next couple of days and write down the things you have to buy. Maybe even put it in a chronological order from your supermarket stall so you know which aisle you have to go to and where stuff is at before you have to run around, chase something, and then you get frustrated and just buy whatever else. Number two, before you even go to the supermarket, eat something. We all have been hangry and didn't want to be there and just bought random things we regret afterwards and they're just going to run away. Tip 10 is also food related. If you don't want to spend the big bucks on really good organic food and like, new products you've never tried, try to use Too Good To Go or different apps where you buy stuff for like 75% off and you get a big variety. You can't choose, but you get a big variety and just pay way less for it. As well as that, go to the supermarket right before closing and you can get the best deals and bargains. As well as that, every single supermarket has weekly discounts on named products. So if you want to have that, check it out before you go to the supermarket. Otherwise, buy no-name products or products from the supermarket itself, because most of the times they're actually manufactured in the same factory as these really expensive name brands and it nearly tastes the same. If you got like a Too Good To Go or a helper bag and there's like fruit in it which doesn't look 100% appetizing anymore, don't bin it. You can either cut it into pieces and use it for baking or making like a jam, or that's what I mostly do if I'm not baking. I make a smoothie or I use it for overnight oats and then just mix it up. Number 13 is clothing. Don't spend your big bucks on your clothes. Nowadays, there's overconsumption everywhere. So if you want something, I am pretty sure that you can find it on like Vinted, on Spock, on Gumtree, on Facebook Marketplace, anywhere secondhand with like really good quality. There are no holes in it or whatsoever, and you just spend like a quarter of the normal price. So definitely check that out, or just go to charity shops and buy your clothes there. Because yeah, you have a washing machine most of the times. So just dump it in there, wash it, and you're good to go. Number 14 is something I had to deal with for my dad last year. He had a contract with Telecom and paid 165 quid every single month for a flat rate for his phone. Ridiculous. So I had to call them up and cancel it. And instead of that, when he goes like to a big name, he is with a very small unknown provider, which use exactly the same internet. Because there are just a couple of towers standing around town, and like the big ones like Telecom and O2, they own it and then they just subsidize it. Me personally, for example, in the UK, I am Team giffgaff. Team giffgaff runs over O2 and I only spend 8 quid every single month on it. Save money. Just be smart, change and save money. We are nearly at the end of today's list, but this, I'm gonna tell you, is something most of my friends do and I don't understand it. Having multiple streaming services at the same time. You just waste money because you can only watch one thing at a time anyway. So instead of that, I personally rotate. So like I have 2 months Spotify, then 2 months Amazon Prime, then 2 months Hulu, all of these things. You just rotate, watch your series, watch your films, check out whatever is online, whatever you haven't streamed, and then you move on to the next provider for streaming, entertainment and all that kind of stuff. Number 16 is a bank account where you have to pay monthly charges just to have it. In Germany, my mom, she's paying like $5.99 or $9.99 for a bank account, which is ridiculous. Here in the UK, I have my TSB, I have a Monzo card, and I have my American Express, and they're all totally free to use. And I would never spend money on a credit, debit card or whatsoever. So actually check if there's a membership fee or whatsoever. If you don't really use it, cancel it. Well, with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I love you if you're still around. Yeah, this was my Financial Friday. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!